Welcome to Quick History Facts, where we bring you interesting stories from the past in just a few minutes. Did you know that Queen Victoria really hated pregnancy? And she also disliked babies. Although Victoria had 9 children over the course of 17 years, Victoria considered pregnancy and babies the unwelcome result of an active sex life with Albert. She once described it as the shadow side of marriage. Victoria really did not enjoy being pregnant or giving birth. She described the experience as frightful and once wrote, "Nothing is more truly horrible than to see poor women in the last stage of pregnancy." As for birth and newborns, she disliked this equally. In fact, she famously wrote in her diary, "An ugly baby is a very nasty object, and the prettiest is frightful when undressed." She seems to have suffered from postpartum depression after several births and struggled to bond with her royal children. She even wrote in her diary, "I am so fond of children, but then, except for 1 or 2 hours in the day, I do not see them, and then their noise jaws on me." She ended up warning her daughter about this and said that she might suffer loneliness and a tendency to cry. "It is what every lady suffers of more or less, and what I during my first confinements suffered dreadfully with." Following the birth of her second child, Bertie, Victoria actually reported seeing hallucinations and she felt like she was going mad. She was also repulsed by breastfeeding, which wasn't completely uncommon. During this era, many aristocratic and royal women would hire a wet nurse. But Victoria was critical of breastfeeding in general, and she thought breastfeeding would ruin the intelligence of a young woman. Later in life, she found out one of her daughters was breastfeeding, and she wrote, "It makes my hair stand on end that my daughters have turned into cows." Victoria's attitude towards motherhood was unusual for a woman of her time, and it caused some controversy. However, she was still a devoted monarch, and her reign was marked by significant social, cultural, and political changes in Britain. As she was queen, pregnancy and the postpartum stage took her away from her important duties, and she had a bit of resentment towards this. So there you have it, Queen Victoria was not a fan of pregnancy and babies. Join us next time for another fascinating tidbit from the past on Quick History Facts. And don't forget to subscribe.